It's Saturday morning and I decided to make a video for you that could act as a metaphor for the sort of writing that we're wanting to do. Why not make a pretty final product video where your hair is cuter and there's less noise in the background? Because that's not the kind of writing that we're going to be doing, folks. I don't like my tone. Okay. This is very difficult. Really, Camtasia? You know, this is exactly the process I go through. I have this unbelievable idea, which is, Guy, you woke up and you look really, really horrible, and you're like a metaphor for the kind of writing that everybody wants to do on the team. Just record yourself. It's not that hard, right? So then, because it'll be really cool if you record yourself with all the noise of your life going on in the background. Maybe your husband will yell something about the weird buffalo wings he wants to make later and how he talked to the lady at Fortin's about the steamer and how he didn't want to get the meat on the bamboo. And it'll be like this cool metaphor because this is the sort of writing that we want to do. When I say we want to do, I mean, bless her heart, Liz has been sitting at the end of those meetings saying, we need to reflect, we need to reflect. We just need 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes for a week, and we have totally strained and struggled to do 10 minutes a week. And I think part of the reason of the strain and struggle is because we imagine even that reflective writing as needing to be a pretty final product. And when in reality, what we're trying to capture is just snapshots. It's sort of like, we just want tiny pictures. That's all we want. We want data. We're collecting data. We're out in a field with a net looking for bugs. This is trying to connect with the science. Okay. And so I wanted to sit down and offer some thoughts that I had about that to encourage you. You know, I would say here that one of my tensions around that are awarenesses is that you may know everything I'm about to tell you, and so then I look like an idiot. I mean, like I don't already look like an idiot because it's Saturday morning and my hair's not even done. Oh my good lord, right?
Let me turn it on.
It's on, actually. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up, and let me just run through quickly my thoughts here to encourage you. I keep using the word encourage, and what I notice is I want to picture health. What I want to do is good job with the elbow. What I want to do is call us up to really act on this and not just be talking about it the whole time. I feel so encouraged that somebody has asked me how I am now and how I might be different. No one's asked since I've been here, right? How are you?
Mommy, would you
they kind of mean...
But Mommy, would you please get your
They
chair?
don't mean, how are you really? How are you really? I'm not going to scooch my chair. I'm going to talk. You can look in here if you want. So I wanted to say first, our big goal here is to gather data. It is not to create a final product. We want to be disciplining ourselves. She's moving the chair. Disciplining ourselves as a team, and that means individually on our own time. Individually on our own time to be tracking where we are. We're not, and that feels potentially overwhelming to people. And so I wanted to set straight that all we're doing is actually, so it's a big task in the sense that we've got to figure out a way, we each have to figure out a way to incorporate it into our regular lives in order for us to, at the end of this process, whenever that is, I mean, whenever we decide later to make meaning of the data, the best data that we'll have, in my opinion, is, well, this is funny, enough data, right? So if we could just sort of commit ourselves to volume or regularity or representative sampling, I'm out of my depth now. Do you know what I'm saying, though? Our task is not to make meaning. So when we say we're doing reflective writing, we're not going to be assessing that for even any sort of coherence in the short term. So I want to free us up to make lists if we need to take pictures if we need to do, you know, if free writing is something that you like to do and that you're comfortable in that, then great if you think it's capturing where you are. But as I understand it, if we look at the idea of development, really, that only means change. It doesn't mean improvement. And our image of that might be, you know, I might go into this saying, I want to reflect. And so, how have I improved, right? And then I strain toward that. What if I haven't improved? What if I am kicking and screaming at the end of this team process, just like I did coming in? What if the difference maybe is just that I'm more out there about my kicking and screaming and I hit it before? I don't know. Is that better or improved? I don't know. It's just different, right? But any amount of preconceived notion I might have about my intended development is going to skew the numbers, and we really, really don't want it. So again, all we want to do is just track the data. Where are we? Where are we as we go? The task is small. Incorporating the data gathering into our regular lives in a sustainable way, that's the big task, and so that's the part that I wanted to really talk about. We're not doing any kind of fancy writing here, but we do need to be doing it. So I wrote out a quick list here about the sort of content you could be trying to gather. So I said you could be thinking in terms of your relationships. You know, I noticed that I write quite a bit about my relationship. Well, they're sort of all over the map. I might reflect on my relationship with students, my relationship to myself as a teacher, the way I handle my classroom, my relationship to my department. But I might map myself as connected to the different sort of bodies of humans or groups of people that I'm relating to as a faculty person, and just be noting where I am in all of those.
Mommy, excuse me, would you
I sometimes might be making lists of things. So for me, it might be what I'm most anxious about. I don't, it just, or maybe for some people, but not for me, right? Anxiety, I don't struggle with that. Whatever, right? But you might, if you're, you know, a sunshinier person, you might be writing lists of what you're most excited about. It might be interesting to see the development or and again, change in that over time. Does that change? Maybe it doesn't, right? You might just be putting a quick list of where your attention is or where your focus is. What if you wrote nothing but to-do lists, right? If you love to write to-do lists, then I would say think about what you naturally know and write that down. We don't need to judge the worth of the data before we get it down. So there's some other thoughts about that. The form itself, I want to free us up about that. So the form of reflective writing we've done is take out a journal, use an actual pen. You might have total PTSD about that from your earlier education. Who knows? Or maybe it makes you think too much of your journal where you just complain. Again, hypothetically. So you don't want to use that form. I like this form Evernote for this little function Evernote for making lists of things, awarenesses. You might want to open up a document on your laptop if that's where you feel like, I think for some of us it might just need to be that what will go fast so that it doesn't feel overwhelming, right? Maybe you want a document in your laptop that's just called log, where all you do is you type the date, and you look at the timer, and you just write for 5 minutes. You don't judge it, you don't check it, you don't even spell check it. Who cares? Doesn't have to be spell checked. We're just collecting bugs, right? Oh, such a poor metaphor. So right here, you might want to, if you love writing on a chalkboard or on a whiteboard, free yourself up to have 5 minutes or 10 minutes of a week where you drew a picture of what you saw, or you made a huge list of what you saw, and then you took a picture of it. I think we can embrace whatever reflective tracking we want to. And what if it looked all different? What if it wasn't all in the same white book with a black outside? What if, right? Maybe, I just think open up. What sounds fun, dare I say the word, what sounds freeing to do? What, if you gave yourself permission to do it, you could actually look forward to it instead of dreading it. So right now, if writing in a journal to reflect on your change just makes you want to throw up in your own hands, don't do that, right? I love to blog. I have enough desire to perform in me, and I'm comfortable enough with writing process that the idea of using a blog with the potential audience of reading as I'm going invigorates me, and it makes me lean toward. If the blog form makes you lean away, don't use the blog. Don't use the blog. Be aware of your... well, maybe you already are aware. Be freed up, is what I would say. And again, I'm asserting this. Who am I on the team to assert this? I don't know. There's every chance Roger's going to say, actually, what we need. But I don't think so, right? I think it's okay. I think it's okay for me to say, hominis dominus bominus. You are allowed to use whatever form of data tracking you want to. I'm a huge fan of the voice memo. I use that on my phone a lot. If you're really, really... that sort of processor, what if you set aside 5 minutes a week to talk to yourself about it? Right? Okay.
Mommy, I said...
So the last couple things that I wanted to say is... Hold on 1 second, princess. Hold on. I'm not being weird. I mean, she's a princess. Okay, just so you don't think I'm... Okay. I could have said lumberjack if she had been dressed up like a... Okay. So I sort of already said this, but I wanted to say development just means change. If I had the time and my internet connection was working at home, I can't talk about it, I would prove to you based on the OED, Oxford English Dictionary definition of the word and its origins that it doesn't mean anything about getting better. Oh, I hope I'm right. How embarrassing. I should check my research and come back. Maybe I'll insert that later. What does the word development really mean? We ought to know. I think it could be that our model of development means improvement. And I worry about that. Too strong. I recognize that as a potential pressure factor for us as we go through the writing. Let's be freed up of what we'll do with this information. Let's be freed up to just gather it. So we'll make meaning later. And if, in fact, we continue with the trajectory we've begun with, we'll make meaning as a team. So we won't be saying to each other, I surely hope we won't be saying to each other, go make meaning of that and report back. I surely hope we'll be taking all this and we'll be helping each other find the patterns in it. Leave a crumb trail behind you. Whatever kind of crumbs you want. But let's leave crumbs. Oh, Hansel and Gretel. Hi.
I can't even see the recording.
I know. So, and in the midst of everything else that's going on, do it that way.